Welcome to Holston Valley Unitarian Universalist Virtual Church. My name is Rosemary, and I am glad that we can get together even though we cannot be together. Today, our minister, the Reverend Jeff Breer, says that simplicity ain't all that simple. To light our chalice, I have some words from the Gospels of Matthew and Luke. In this passage, Jesus is speaking to his disciples about how to live amidst all the distractions of life at the edge of the Roman Empire. Don't worry about where your next meal is coming from or what hat to wear, for your life is more than food and your body more than clothing. Check out the mockingbirds. They don't plant wheat and they don't bake bread. They don't have a grain elevator or a barn, and yet they freely eat whatever they want. Check out the daylilies. They don't work, they don't have a 40-minute commute, and yet even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed in more beautiful attire. So stop saying, "What's for dinner?" and forget about what wine you'll drink. Instead, work for the kingdom of God, and dinner and drink will be delivered to you. I kid you not. And you know, you can't add a single hour to your life by worrying about it. Really. The kingdom of God is within your reach. So sell all your stuff. Give it all away. Make yourself a purse that does not wear out, and in it carry treasure in heaven, where there are no thieves to steal it and no moths to eat it. For where your treasure is, there your heart is also. We all have different reasons for gathering here each week, but we have this much in common. We work together as a church to transform ourselves, our community, and our world by sharing love, pursuing justice, and seeking wonder. For a prelude today, a Shaker dance tune. You may not believe it, but Simple Gifts is a dance tune. So if you want to turn and bend, you'll come round right. This was a very happy memory from years ago making this recording with Terry Sandoval and Sandy Phillips. 'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to turn round where we hope to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, we'll be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we shan't be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning we come round right. 'Tis a gift to be friends, and a true friend to be. 'Tis a gift to think of others, not to only think of me. And when we hear what others really think and feel, then we'll all live together with a love that's real. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we shan't be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning we come round right. 'Tis a gift to be gentle, 'tis a gift to be fair, 'tis a gift to wake and breathe the morning air, and every day to walk in the path we choose. 'Tis the gift that we pray we may ne'er come to lose. 'Tis a gift to be loving, 'tis the best gift of all. Like a quiet rain, it blesses where it falls. And if we have the gift, we will truly believe 'tis much better to give than it is to receive. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend sing Loving Kindness next. Please light a candle to dispel the darkness, to honor someone or some event, or to bring light to a memory.
My name is Jeff Breer, and I am the minister of this virtual church. I hope that you are safe and well, and that you are soon able to be vaccinated. Way back in 1998, I was living in Syracuse, New York. Kate and I had a nice little house, and the previous owner had put in a pool. We had a garage with a car, a motorcycle, a snowblower, and all the other implements of suburban living. Inside our house, we had a couple daughters, a dog, a cat, comfy furniture, a wood-burning stove, a hot tub, a dinner table, a waterbed, and a large TV set. Kate was teaching school, and I was selling cars. Then I got the bright idea to study for the ministry. Not one to be left behind, Kate decided to return to grad school and get a degree in directing. We looked at our stuff. It was clear we would have to simplify. We sold a lot of stuff, we gave away a lot of stuff, we threw away a lot of stuff, put a little stuff in storage, sold our house, sold the car, the snowblower, sold the hot tub, found a good Unitarian Universalist home for our dog, and we moved to Chicago with our cat and our clothes and a few pots and pans. For 3 years we lived in one bedroom of a large house and shared the kitchen with other residents. Everything we owned, except dining room furniture and kitchen supplies, was in our bedroom. Now since then, much of what we cast off back then has re-entered our lives. All that stuff crept back like a miracle dog who travels thousands of miles to get home. When I sat at my desk writing this sermon, I stopped for a moment and inventoried the 21st century stuff that I saw in front of me. I was using a personal computer, a marvelous machine without which I would be seriously hobbled. An electric light illuminated my desk. Also in my view is a coffee cup with a pre-9/11 New York City skyline, a cell phone, 24 pens in a cup, a post-it note dispenser, about 100 blank CDs, a calculator, a laptop computer, a printer, a camera, scads of papers and books, and a wrist rest that I use to prevent carpal tunnel syndrome. There's actually more, but I do have a word limit here. I got up and wandered into the kitchen, where I noticed a dishwasher, a stove, 2 empty cat food bowls, 2 hungry-looking cats, a coffee maker, a refrigerator, a microwave oven, and a toaster oven. In the living room I found a home theater system with a TV set, a DVD recorder, a couple lamps, 2 guitars, a banjo, a harp, and a piano. In the bedroom I found 2 more lamps, tons of clothes in the closet, tons of jewelry on the desk dresser, and tons of blankets and pillows on the bed. It's pretty clear to me that I possess more than I need. It is pretty clear to me that I am not inclined to divest myself of all the 21st century stuff in my life. So simplifying my life right now is not so simple, and yet I still look for ways to live a simpler life. Now, deliberately cutting back, voluntary simplicity, that has been in vogue for many years. Like John Coffer, who lives in the Finger Lakes region of upstate New York. He built himself a 12 square foot cabin for about $800, most of that for cedar shingles. Living off the grid, he derives electricity from solar panels, which charge the batteries that power his light bulb, his laptop, and his radio. One light bulb, one laptop, one radio. No telephone, no alarm clock, no washing machine, no dryer, no stove, no disposal, no automatic coffee maker, no automobile, no snowblower, no water heater. He hauls water from a well with a 2-bucket yoke and gets around in a horse-drawn carriage. In fine weather, he bathes in the wood in a cast-iron clawfoot tub that cost him $1. The 60-gallon cauldron that he uses to heat bath water cost him 20 bucks. He says, "Modern living was always too fast for me. I wasn't very good at 21st century life." I wonder if you have ever felt oppressed by modern life. Ever felt the need to simplify? Maybe you thought that life in bygone times was simpler. Well, it wasn't. It really wasn't. Every age has its share of anxiety-producing agents. Consider 1906. Most of what I know about 1906 would have me believe that life was paced a lot slower, that we all knew our neighbors, that everyone had a job, we raised our own food, and the quality of life tended to make us happier and better adjusted people. But 1906 was no Shangri-La, no. To get around in 1906, most people used a horse, so feeding the animal and keeping him healthy was a daily concern. Steam trains took people for long distances, but if you rode in one of the cars, you had to be alert from the sparks that flew off the engine, because if they blew in the window, they'd set your clothes on fire. Or you could simply walk, which most people did. As a result, in 1906, most people never traveled farther than 50 miles from their home. We had health issues in 1906, sort of like COVID-19. Typhoid fever, smallpox, tuberculosis, polio, and malaria were widespread and uncontrolled. The Food and Drug Act was signed into law in 1906 because of the bacteria that lurked in every can of improperly prepared food. In 1906, people in the food industry did not understand the benefits of refrigeration, sterile equipment, and simple hand washing. In 1906, we had immigration issues, sort of like today. In 1906 alone, the United States took in 1.1 million visitors and newcomers, the largest number to arrive in a single year. That record was broken in 1907. In 1906, we had racial issues, just like today. 27 people were killed in Atlanta, and the city's black-owned business district was torched by mobs. And African Americans were not the only targets. The San Francisco Public School Board sparked a diplomatic crisis with Japan because they ordered that Japanese students be taught in racially segregated schools. There were only 33 Japanese students in the entire system. In 1906, we had natural disasters, sort of like today. On April 18th, an earthquake on the San Andreas Fault destroyed much of San Francisco, killing 3,000 people, with about 300,000 left homeless, and $10 billion, that's today's dollars, $10 billion in damages. Communication in 1906, America was not simpler, just more primitive. Nowadays, we can take in information from every part of the known world all day long. In 1906, telephones were unknown in rural areas, and rural mail delivery was only 4 years old. The first radio broadcast to the public happened in 1906, but there were magazines, books, newspapers, and the telegraph. Today we add TV, movies, tweets, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, email, cell phones, and computers, and electric coffee makers. No wonder that you might want to simplify. But as I found out, it ain't so simple to simplify. And to choose just one example, this cell phone. Yeah, it complicates my life, and I have yet to master all the things that it can do. It's not cheap, but I believe I'll keep it because it actually makes some parts of my life a lot easier. The point is that I accept this complication in my life. I accept the cost and the bother of charging it and all the interruptions it brings me. And I can say the same for all the other 21st century stuff that I found in my house. For me, it wasn't feasible to cast off all that stuff in order to achieve simplicity. Because I think there's a new simplicity that we can develop. I think we can develop a simplicity of the spirit. If you really want to, you can go live in a shack without modern conveniences, but you cannot go back to a simpler time. Such a time never really existed. You might think there was a simpler time, but there really weren't. There really wasn't. Every time had its challenges. 1906 is gone forever. For better or worse, you are right here, right now. Finding the space to relax, the chance to concentrate, the time to be alone with ourselves, that will be a challenge of living in our time. A simplicity of the spirit, however, may give us the solace we seek, for it becomes part of our core, part of our nature. And we can develop a simplicity of the spirit in 5 ways. Number 1, set simple goals, modest goals that you can achieve. We don't need to do it all to have it all. God knew the value of setting modest goals. She took 6 days to make everything in the world. She knew she couldn't put it together all in one afternoon. 2, develop simpler relationships with deeper connections. Work on fewer connections, but work better. We don't need to be everything to everyone. God understood this. So he only made 2 people. He knew he could not maintain healthy relationships with everybody all at once. Number 3, simplify your theology. Find a place for humility within all that you believe. You and I are not the be-all and the end-all. We cannot do it all. Everyone could use a good dose of humility, especially me. 4, embrace your failures. If you fail, so what? No one's going to kick you out of the human race. Embrace your failure. Own it. Wallow in your failure. It's your failure. If you are unfortunate enough to be perfect, you have nowhere to go but down. At first, I was reluctant to embrace my failures, but admitting to myself that I failed was so liberating. I mean, I had another chance. Number 5, live in the present moment. Live in the here and now. When you live in the present, you are unencumbered by what happened in the past, and you're not anxious about what may happen in the future. Thich Nhat Hanh is a Vietnamese Buddhist monk. He's living in exile now for many years, but he makes his home and teaches in France. He is probably the best known and most respected Zen master in the world today, and he wrote these words about the present moment. Our true home is in the present moment. To live in the present moment is a miracle. The miracle is not to walk on water. The miracle is to walk on the green earth in the present moment. To appreciate the peace and the beauty that are available right now. Peace. Peace is all around us, in the world and in nature and within us, our bodies and in our spirits. Once we learn to touch this peace, we will be healed and transformed. It's not a matter of faith. It's a matter of practice.
Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for our gathered here and this far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day.
Our time together is nearly finished, but our work is not done. May our spirits be renewed and our resolve strengthened as we meet the challenges of the week to come. Please help me close the service now. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and share with all the world. My name is George Cross, and I'm happy that you could join us for this service. Please come back whenever you like. We will post another virtual service next Sunday. Please contact the minister or the caring team if you or somebody you know needs help during this time. Our services are recorded in advance, so current events may move faster than our ability to address them in a timely fashion. However, you can find up-to-date information on local events, social justice issues, inspiration, and content for all ages on our Facebook page. For our postlude, Giselle and Karis bring us a song by Akron Family, Love is Simple. Don't be afraid, you're already dead. As you make your way through the week, remember that you are good, you are loved, we all need a little work, and we're all in this together. And nothing left to say, but yay, church!
Nana, come here. See.
Don't be afraid, it's only love. Don't be afraid, it's only love. Don't be afraid, it's only love. Don't be afraid, it's only love.